What's going on, YouTube? My name is Trey Kepsel, and this is Elk Motorsports. Well, y'all, it's finally going down. The Zuks Offroad transfer case cradle is getting installed on the rebuilt transfer case. It's getting put back in the Samurai, and the Twin Stick's getting installed. Well, putting it up here to do a test fit, and it looks like I'm gonna have to trim a little bit so that way this arm will clear. So here's that part of the frame that I had to notch away when I was test fitting this transfer case that I showed y'all. It was just contacting this beam, and it was kind of interfering with my ability to mount it up. So I just shaved it back. Right here is that spacer that kind of takes the place of the mount. And it also, because this passenger side rear mount kind of dips down and has a spot in it that's lower, it fills in the gap so it makes it flush. So you just line up this hole. The back side of this transfer case cradle mounting arm has a nut welded to it, so you can just take your bolt and you can just thread it straight in. So now moving to the passenger front mounting spot on the frame, you're given two of these spacers. One of them is going to go in between the frame and the transfer case mounting arm. And then the other one will go on your bolt with your washer and your lock washer. So with it like this, these two spacers that are the same size and shape, so it's not like you can mix them up. It's no real particular orientation as far as one has to be on top, one has to be on the bottom. They will sandwich the frame, and then you'll take the nylon locking nut and you'll put it on the top. Now on the driver's side, this is where I put the Zuks Offroad upgraded driver's side transfer case mount. You have the same plate, but you only have one. And it's going to go in between the mount and the cradle. And then you're just gonna line this up, put it through. The bolt's not long enough. Well guys, I got in there on the driver's side to put in the bolt that came with the kit, and it was not long enough. I double checked it, and it would have been long enough if I was using the stock mount, but because we upgraded to the Zuks Offroad reinforced driver's side transfer case mount, the bracket itself is thicker, so therefore the bolt that came with the kit was not long enough. So of course the parts store only had a bolt that was like 1.5 inches longer than I needed, so I can't even get the bolt in because it'll contact the floorboard, so I'm going to cut it down to the size that it needs to be. So that's what we're going to do now. All right, go number 2. Got the spacer in, holes lined up, new cut bolt. There we go. Got everything hand tight. Something I want to make mention of, if you notice when I was putting this in, I had the transfer case in the transfer case cradle scooped back so I could put this mid shaft in. And the reason why is because I have it in right now. If you look, it will not clear this transfer case cradle to get in and out. So if you ever have to pull this intermediate shaft to like drop your transmission, you're gonna have to loosen these bolts and you're gonna have to slide this transfer case in this cradle back a little bit. Well guys, transfer case is rebuilt. Zuks Offroad transfer case cradle, reinforced driver's side transfer case mount, and twin stick is all installed on the Samurai. Now that that project's done, we can go ahead and replace the head gasket on this truck. And since I'm gonna have half the turbo kit pulled off anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the rest of it off and give you all a rundown of what's in that kit and what all the components do. I'm also gonna go ahead and show you all how to Cerakote the exhaust manifold and turbine housing, give you all a tutorial on how to map the turbo to the 1.3 liter engine, and tell y'all why the KR3 is such a good turbo for this engine. If this was content that you enjoyed watching, be sure to hit like. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so that way you can stay up to date on what I've got going on in the shop. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.